the HK VP9-B. Let's check it out. The HK VP9 has been extremely popular for HK. It's added a striker fire pistol to their line with a polymer frame, steel. It really got H&K into the striker fire pistol market. And that's a great thing because HK really makes high quality firearms. Today we're going to take a look at their brand new B model. And this is their push button release mag release. And so we're able to, instead of the paddle design that's traditional with HK, they've gone with this side-mounted magazine release. It's a very positive release. It does eject the magazines. Other than that, this gun is the same as your standard VP9. You can't convert the paddles to the B model, so you have to specify if you want B. But if you like this, you know, it's a great way to go. There's a lot of people that love that traditional mag release right there on the grip. Now here we have the standard VP9 with the paddle release, and just makes it really easy to be able to drop that magazine. This is, of course, in the OD frame. It comes in an FDE, and I believe it comes in a gray as well. We have the black for the push button. As you can see, just drops that mag like a traditional grip-mounted mag release. So we're, still, that's really, honestly, the only difference between these two handguns. The VP9 has been very popular, and honestly, the mag release right here at the trigger guard is my favorite because I can do it with my trigger finger. So I can drop that magazine very easily. Here with the push button, actually it's pretty good. I mean, as far as getting to it, I don't really have to adjust my grip much. Now, if you have a little bit larger hand, it'll be an easier time to do it. But I can get that magazine pretty simply. So it is a fairly decent size. And you can see the only difference here is very minimal. And the paddle design is very small. I mean, they make some very abbreviated mag releases. Some of them I've seen have been longer. And so this gives you just enough to be able to get hold of. But again, that finger right here, that trigger finger, just makes it really simple to be able to adjust and to get that magazine out. Now this is easy to change from the other side, but one of the big things about the H&K VP9 is you can see it already has the slide stop on the other side, has the mag release. So this is fully ambidextrous except for your takedown lever. And really for takedown, you don't really need that to be either right or left. But here on the VP9-B, it's dedicated to one side, but you can move it to the other side. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes on how to change that. It's really simple. But again, everything else is identical on these handguns. One of the things though I really like about the VP9 series is how ergonomic it is. The grip molds to your hand. Now, there are a total of 3 different bag straps and 3 side straps. So you can change these out independently. I think there's like 29 different configurations that you can go with the VP9 and for that matter, the P30. And so it makes it just able to customize this grip to your hand, but yet it's already just super ergonomic. You do have a high ride right here to be able to get a high grip on the handgun. So it has a very low bore axis. Here the slide stop, fairly abbreviated, and then you have your takedown lever. They don't stick out far off of the frame. I typically don't have any trouble engaging the slide stop when I'm firing. And so that way the slide doesn't ride home on the last round. The sights are dovetailed in the front and the rear. They are luminescent, so they do glow, but you have to apply light. And these are non-radioactive. but you can get night sights for these as well. But I like the metal sights. I mean, they're just really, they show up really well during the day and again at night. These cocking ears at the back, though, are one of the things that really differentiates the VP9, because you're able to just pull this back. Now, especially people with weaker hand strength, they're not relying on the serrations. They have a little more leverage with these ears that come off the back, and they're pretty unobtrusive. Now, I think you can take the front sight off and pull these off and put a panel through here, so it still looks good, and yet, you know, you don't have to, if you don't care for these ears, they're easily removed. The back slide plate has a red indicator. This means that it's a cocked striker indicator. So if we pull the trigger, it disappears. That doesn't mean that the gun is not loaded, it just means you have a cocked striker. But you can see how low the bore axis is. I mean, it is just right. Of course, we do have front cocking serrations and rear slide serrations. They're very easy to grab. They grip the hand very easily. But again, here you have your ears to be able to grab this. But press checks are very simple. You have your 1913 Picatinny rail section at the front. There are 4 different pieces, serial number plate, squared off partial trigger guard with serrations, and then it curves down. This is going to be excellent for gloved hands. The texturing on the grip is just excellent. I love the squiggly lines, the way they've got this set up. And each of your panels, of course, match that. It does have finger grooves. They're very abbreviated, so they're small, and yet they fit the hand very well. Small little bump here, but then according to the back strap that you put on here is going to dictate the size. The mag release does eject the magazine, as you can see, so it pops it out. The magazines are just exceptional. They're steel, 15 rounds. HK does a great job. It says made in Germany, so you know that these are OEM mags. Small little catch here for your mag release. It has a soft polymer base plate, easily removed, just push in, and then this comes sliding right off. The front of the slide has been beveled, gives it a real clean look, and all the edges are rounded off, and you can see it does taper somewhat down, but this is a very beautiful gun in my opinion. The slide has a nitro carburized finish. HK says it's their hostile environment finish, and it does hold up very well. It impregnates the metal, so it's a nice, clean look to it. One of the things that the VP9 is known for is its trigger. It has an exceptional trigger, very close to the PPQ. In fact, actually with a little less grit. We're going to check trigger action, drop the magazine, make sure the gun is unloaded. We have the blade safety on the trigger. A little take up here. Just a little bit of a bump right between the take up and the wall. Then a nice break. It's a good clean break. Reset right there. So it's a fairly fast reset as well, and then back to the trigger. Check the trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. 4 pounds, 13.5 ounces. 4 pounds, 12 ounces. 4 pounds, 8.6 ounces. Now the standard magazines are 15+1, and these do work in both models, whether it's the VP9-B or the standard VP9 with the magazine release side paddles. One thing that I am using too is some of the XTech Tactical magazines. These are HK. They are excellent. In fact, I did a full review on them. They're made exactly like the standard HK magazines. They're actually cheaper, and one thing that I do like is they have a 20 round base plate at the bottom that you can add, and that's at XTech Tactical. It's a great source, and they're a little different just because of the way the mag release is. You can see this is one of their 15 rounders and this is one of their 20 rounders, and it does have the cut, which the standard HK mag does not, but these do work just perfectly with HK. And really, beside that cut, the only way I can tell the difference is it says made in Germany, and then on the XTech mags there's just a small little groove in the front. Otherwise, the base pads are pretty close. They do interchange as well. And you can put those extensions on your HK factory mags. I want to thank Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammo, and we're using the 115 grain full metal jacket. we're going to shoot about 3 rounds, change magazines with each one, do that a couple of times just to see. But I've done both, and you know, really if you're training with one particular pistol, you can really get good with either one. To me, I find the paddle release a little faster. Now to disassemble the firearm, we're going to drop our magazine, check to make sure the gun is unloaded. You have to drop the magazine to disassemble or to reassemble. So we bring back our slide in the lock position, bring down our takedown lever all the way down, and then we release the slide. Now you can pull the trigger here, but all you need to do is take this lever, push it forward, and the slide comes right off. So again, you don't have to pull the trigger. Recoil spring and guide rod. It is metal and it is captive. One thing I really like is the flat recoil spring. So this is going to help with recoil mitigation. It's going to lessen the recoil, felt recoil. Then we have the barrel. Now this barrel is 4.9 inches in length. It is made from cannon grade steel, and it is cold hammer forged according to HK. And then of course has a nice black nitride finish on it. This is a polygonal groove barrel, so it's not your standard lands and grooves. Here you can see the slide, very nicely done. Of course, HK is known for really high quality. And then you have your firing pin block here, but it's it's a really nice design. Here on the frame, nice large locking block, and that's going to give you not good rails coming back. And then here at the back we have short abbreviated rails. But you can see the trigger system. It's a well-designed piece all the way around. I mean, HK doesn't do anything halfway. That's all you need to do to field strip the pistol. Bring in our barrel, recoil spring and guide rod. There is a small nub right here that goes toward the back. We bring it back over our slide. Go ahead and bring it into the lock back position. Bring back your lever. Drop it, function check, we're good to go. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to take your mag release from the left side and put it on the right for left-handed shooters. If you'll notice right here, there's this spring right here that captures this silver piece, and this is what holds your magazine release into place. So we'll need to get this spring put back because the lip is over the top of that silver. So I'm just going to take a small punch, relieve the tension, and then pull that silver piece up, just like this. As you can see, it's now free. If you pull it out, it's a little bit different, but it's not a big deal to get it back into place, just making sure that it's lined up in the correct grooves. Now your slide release should just come out, just like that. Now if you're going to switch it to the left hand, you just make sure the mag release is to the other side, and that's the side with the texturing. Now I'm not left-handed, so I'm going to go ahead and just reinsert it, but it's the same principle either way. Now it's easier if you have your grip in this position so the magazine release doesn't fall out of the mag well. Just take it and kind of line it up. You can kind of feel it go into place, just like that. Now take the silver bar and just push it downward, just like that. And wait until it snaps into place under the spring lip right here. And then you just test it. It's got the spring tension on it, so we should be good to go. I mentioned that you can't disassemble the gun with the mag in place, and you can't even insert the mag without the slide attached. And you'll notice that there's a little bit of a gap there. So we're going to have to put our slide back on to test it. So throw your mag in, and we're good to go. Again, just reverse it to the other side, and just very easy to do. We have an HK box. Of course, you get the pistol, extra magazine, mag loader. You get, again, 2 separate back straps, so you can really adjust this down. It has the medium installed, and then we have the side panels, which it has 2 different sets, and this gives you some palm swell. Of course, your lock, and a very concise owner's manual, and my favorite, HK sticker. Now, as far as price goes, you know, if you get without the night sights, I'm seeing them run, you know, between the $550, $560 to $600 range in a lot of the retail shops. But, you know, if you want the night sights, of course, that jumps it up quite a bit. But for an HK, it's right there in the same ballpark as most of your new Glocks. And yet, again, that HK tradition is just top-notch. So whether you go with a paddle or the push button, it's just giving us more choices in the golden age of firearms. And I'll tell you one thing about HK, it's just excellent quality. I want to thank HK for sending the VP9-B for this test and evaluation. And guys, I'll tell you what, it's a VP9, it's excellent. And if you're looking for a striker fire pistol, this really high quality, you can't go wrong with HK. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, long live the Republic.